Yeah, it's your boy Fist in the his house, bringing another great edition of Black Ops from me to you, because that's what I do. Bringing you a game of team deathmatch mercenary style. So, my last video on the golden gun, the golden gun video where I was talking about legitimacy and stuff of that nature and objectifying. I don't want people to get too carried away, but the things that I'm telling you is just based on my experience. Now, I did talk to Holiday Doc, who is the MLG announcer. I mean, we roomed together for a couple days. That's all we talked about. We talked about, he's literally the only person that, besides, well, Blade and Sandy, we talked a lot too. Not as an individual, but as in a group. And when I was with Doc, we would sit there and, we would talk about, MLG and then his context of how the pros perceive the game and how they break it down and how I break the game down and how I perceive it, or the people on, there's different degrees of COD enthusiasts. There's different styles there's different fans of the game. There's different levels of people who aspire to play this game differently. So when you talk to somebody who's an MLG player or an MLG announcer like Doc Holliday, who's going to be in Anaheim at the end of this month, and I'm supposed to do a dual com with him, he's very knowledgeable about the game, and he could break down everything to you. So we had this discussion in Los Angeles about, my perception and his perception, and the MLG's perception. Like, my context is different than his, and his is different from mine. And that's the thing, when a lot of people make comments in the comment section, their perception of the game is at their level of playing Call of Duty. For example, when I was talking to Doc Holliday, we were talking about, well, I was telling him, I said, well, when you're playing like Search and Destroy and these other game types with objectives in them, I'm saying once you learn the map, nothing really changes, and that in Team Deathmatch, it's always going to be unpredictable because you don't know what's going to happen in wherever they're going to be coming from, or anything can change because the objective of the game is to kill each other. So we had this discussion, and he was telling me that the pros, they know where every single spawn spot. Here's a weird scenario right here. Look how I got out of this flashbang. I don't know if it's a special way to get out of it, but I just stumbled upon it on accident. But he was saying, like, they know every spawn spot. There's like 18, 19 spawn spots or 27 spawn spots in every map, so they would know the rotation of the spawns. And he told me, well, how that would relate to, a team deathmatch, and why he thought that would make that easy. And then I said, well, that would be in the eyes of an MLG pro, but not in the eyes of the everyday team deathmatch players who play the game on an everyday basis. They're strictly going on the variable of everything just happening at once. They're not taking that into deductive conclusions. They're not looking at it that way. And that's the way that I play the game. I don't put that in my equation. I just play the game. If they're not on this side of the map, they're probably on the other side of the map. I don't know all the spawn spots. And then when I told him about my situation, I'm like, well, you look at pro golfers. When they're pro, every day they change the pin placement on the golf hole. Now the golf hole is not going to change. It's the same every day. So why couldn't that be the same for a pro player in MLG? If the objective's always the same place on the map every single time, then once they learn the map and they know where the objectives are at, then how is that comparable in context to what I'm saying? They're on different levels, but they're the same thing. They both have legitimacy to them. And so that's where, you know, we come to an agreement. And we would have never ever come to that agreement if we never sat down and really talked to each other and figured this stuff out. Now, this gameplay that I'm showing you is a reflection of that, but on a different level. There's two different types of perceptions. There's team deathmatch and there's mercenary team deathmatch. In mercenary team deathmatch, you're not going to see split screen players in them. And to be honest with you, I thought mercenary team deathmatch is the hardest game mode in online. Now Doc says, yeah, well, you know, when they play it professionally, they get one kill and they sit in the end of the map. And I said, well, you could change that. Just put a time limit on it. You have to have X amount of kills or you're disqualified. Both teams. So, you know, in mercenary team deathmatch, and there's a big difference between mercenary team deathmatch and team deathmatch. Mercenary is, there's everybody in there is a high level player that is, I think they're older players who have a mind or head on their shoulders. So you're playing up against really good players all the time. Team deathmatch, it gets split screens in there. Teams are just screwing around. You're not really gonna get. You can run around and get away with shit. But in mercenary, like Monday, I think it was the hardest. I think it was the hardest time I've ever had in COD. My whole entire time playing the COD series. I think out of 30 games, I had like 10 or games that was above 2.0, and the rest were just. They were just. I would come in first place and we'd win the game, but they were really good, gritty games. And if you guys want to see some shit like that, I'll post them up. I mean, there was literally all the guys in the room were like level 50, 15. It was awesome. So I don't know if it's just a Monday thing or what, but Mercenary was just incredibly hard. But anyways, that was my whole take on it. I hope you enjoyed it, and a lump some people left the room. Until next time, it's your boy Fist. Peace!
It's your boy Alki on behalf of Fisticuffs. Peace.